this. Coaching is about pushing buttons, trying to push the buttons to motivate players. And obviously Antonio had some things to say after Sunday's game. Maybe that was to push some buttons. But are you curious to see how this team responds to kind of that challenge of what Antonio said on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious to see how we respond in general, not just based off what he said. It shouldn't take a coach to say, something to you to get you fired and, motivated to turn it around. So just looking to see how the guys respond, myself included, everybody.
Do you have an expectation of what that response is going to look like?
I don't have any expectations.
How would you characterize how the meeting went on Monday?
How would I do what?
The team meeting on Monday.
I mean, what happens in our meetings is it stays in our meeting rooms, but there was obviously a lot of accountability and a lot of discussions and different things like that. Just communication in general, we get on the same page.
Something that Coach Pierce talked about was in the game against the Panthers. You could tell pretty much from the first drive that it wasn't what it needed to be. He said practice leading up to the game, were positive, so it's kind of surprised him. This week going against the Browns, you guys need to do as a team to make sure that energy translates from practices to the game.
Well, obviously we need to start by having good practices either way. It doesn't always translate to the game. You hope that it does, but it doesn't always work that way. But you got to start with a good lay, a good foundation for the week, and then follow it up with the communication and the execution.
You said it shouldn't take a coach sometimes to have to push those buttons, and by the same token, it probably shouldn't take leaders like yourself to have to push buttons to your teammates as well. But that is part of the job of being a leader. And how much responsibility do you take in kind of speaking up in moments like this?
Just as much as a coach. It's the best teams from back when Troy Aikman, whoever was playing, it's always been the players. The player-led teams are the ones that do the best in my mind, and that's how you sustain it. You can have a coach, or your dad yelling at you, but anytime your brother gets on you, it's going to be a little bit different. So, got to find a way to dig deep, and sometimes you need a little extra motivation from your brother. That's normal. You would hope that everybody could come out motivated and ready to play, but if that's not the case, that's why you got your brothers next to you to pick you up.
Every game is a season unto itself, Davante. But coming into this, how important is this one to rebound? Not just because it's the fourth game of the year, but based off of what you guys looked like the last time out.
Yeah, I mean, it's every game you in currently is the most important one, obviously, as we all know. But having a game like that, where that's a game in our minds, and I think a lot of people's minds, similar to the Baltimore losing to us. Everybody had us winning that game, especially after coming out and playing the way we did the previous week and finishing that one at least. So, we gotta figure out what it takes to come back and bounce back this week. I know everybody's determined and has it in their mind and got a bad taste in our mouth, so we gotta put the work in right now so that we can do it on Sunday.
Tay, as a veteran, how do you stay mentally strong and make sure that all of your teammates are as mentally strong as you to move forward?
Yeah, you just gotta keep reminding them and display your strength and confidence. Sometimes people got to see that, whether it's the way you walk around or the way you talk or, your ability to bounce back after not, playing great or whatever the case may be. So I think there's nobody that's played great in these first three games on our team, myself included. So we got to find a way to, keep that confidence strong and high. And we got a lot of guys that have done it for a long time and have made plays that can remind some of the younger guys that maybe their confidence slips in moments like this. So it's obviously my job as one of the leaders and probably the most experienced person on this team to come out and show what that looks like.
I know you said nobody's played great, but I know you've taken a lot of pride in Trey's development. What was it like to see him have some success on the field?
Well, when I say play great, I mean you can go out there and give effort, but just because you're playing as hard as Max does, Max don't end up winning tackles. I mean, is that playing great? Just the way we look at it, it's about production. So at the end of the day, when I say that, I mean I don't think Trey's maximized what he can do either. He's made the most of his opportunities for sure, but there's always another gear we can tap into. But Trey and there's a handful of guys that I feel like that have come out this year and with the opportunity that they've had, they've converted and done a pretty good job. But there's always more.
I know it's
How important is it for you guys to get the running game going so that you guys could even have more success in the passing game?
Yeah, I mean it goes like that sometimes. Sometimes it goes the opposite way where you can maybe pass it to open up the run. And, so it just depends on the approach we take week to week, and everybody just doing their job.
That balance that you guys are still searching for, then?
Yeah, I I mean, balance schmalance. I'm not like balance is, um, in my opinion. No, I'm not even gonna. Never mind. It's important to be an efficient football team, no matter what vehicle you use to control your offense.
I know it's too early to start looking at standings, and I'm not necessarily saying this as it applies to you guys, but when you do look at the standings and you see like there's just a lot of teams that are 0-3, 1-2. There's very few teams that are just decidedly dominating right now.
Yeah.
Has that been the case throughout your career, or do you feel like it's gotten a little bit, the parity has gotten a little bit closer as the years have gone on?
Well, I don't know if it's just the years have gone, but it's definitely you've seen a lot of difference over the course of each season. I think
Right.
it kind of changes. I think can't remember what year it is, but probably like somewhere toward the middle of my 11. That it's I think there was like 6 teams undefeated through like the first 6 games or something like that. It
Right.
was maybe even like 4 years ago or something like that. But so you have some of that, but then you have years like this where and that don't mean that a team that's 1-2 right now can't end up with 13 wins at the end of the year. It's all about how you do in that game and taking advantage of every opportunity. That's why we don't want to do this, so we don't have to make up. I feel like I've said that 100 times now, but that's why we want to come out a little stronger and quicker, so we can build up a little bit of a cushion.
Davante, last week it seemed like a lot of the third down passes were thrown short of the sticks. We asked AP about it. He said it was an execution issue. I know it's not a Davante Adams issue, but how do you think you guys can fix it?
Fix
Throwing short of the sticks in third down conversions, really.
versus you saying doing corrected, meaning throw past the
Yes,
sticks.
sir.
Well, I mean, it's not. The name of the game is get the first down. So sometimes it's going to be put the ball in Tay's hand and see if he can go get a few extras. So, it's not necessarily going to be on the call every time. I like to think that, obviously if it's a zone coverage and I get the ball short, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But if I get the ball in man coverage and I'm short, that's, I take that, at least the way I look at it is my, the coaches and, play caller, that's them saying, I'll take 17 over what they got going. So sometimes it's not the best idea, but sometimes you got to throw it short and go get it just based off of what you presented with on defense.
Tay, obviously you don't want a game like Sunday ever, but having it so early on in the season, is that kind of like a snap, kind of like a reset, or more so like just having an opportunity to see more of the mistakes that you can correct going
Yeah.
into the season?
I mean, it can. It's just all depends on the, your approach to it. It's definitely you can look at it like that. I think this team, we have to look at it like that for sure right now. I think look at it as a blessing. It's something that happened now, like you said, versus a week before it's time to try to get in the playoffs or some later in the season situation where you think you got to figure it out and then it all just crumbles like that. That can mess with your psyche and the team's mental a little bit. But yeah, I think right now it's something we can use to snap back out of it, similar to the Vikings and then turn around to the Chargers game last year. And I'm not saying we're putting up 60, but that's the mindset is to come out hot and make the corrections that we didn't do last week.
And 60 is the goal.
I mean, 100 is the goal. But we'll see what happens.
Tony Pierce called Miles Garrett scary in the game record. Just you see him and what he can do with offense on the defense.
I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player. I mean, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. So that's I'm not even it is what it is. I mean, he's one of the best to do it at his position. He's the most like Max Crosby that I've seen as far as play style and effort and ability, bendiness and motor, all of that stuff. So he's got it all. I think he should have been playing in the 80s, honestly, but he's a great player. So he's somebody that you definitely got to take note for and know where he's at on the field at all times.
Sure, I know.
Scoring's kind of down in the league so far through the season. The numbers in the passing game are down. So anything you're seeing in your games or just league-wide and why that is really off?
Everybody's just trying to figure it out. I think defenses typically get rolling a little bit sooner, and I feel like defense. I could be making this up, but just based off my observation, I feel like there's less turnover on defense as far as coordinators and coaches as well too. So like our situation, we coming in with a new coordinator, a new offense, and we got carryover from the and our defense is looking a lot better than our offense right now. So that's how it goes, and sometimes it takes a little bit more time to find a rhythm. It's harder to move it than stop it. As far as my experience. So we just got to figure out what we got to do and hopefully be on the other side of that.
sure I know who you're going to say is going to win the game, but what's your prediction? UNLV, Fresno State this weekend.
What's your prediction? that's what I'm more. I got my boys, man. I'm hoping that I can go check it out and go watch them and support them out there. But I got my dogs. I don't know about the score, but we just got to get it done.
Still have your quarterback? Still have your quarterback?
Do I still have my quarterback?
Fresno State.
UNLV lost theirs.
Oh, that was a big.
He put the team last night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was
We got our I guess we got the one up on you right now. We'll see.
okay.
Thank you.